is complete wellness in a single soft gel. Join us as we uncover how small changes can make a big impact on your health. Don't miss Wellness Unlocked. Watch now on WESN and take the first step toward better health.
Every day, we communicate through stories. Stories of ourselves, our challenges, our goals, our experiences, and our aspirations. Storytelling is an art that we have mastered. WESN Film Studios comprises a collaborative team of experts with extensive industry experience locally, regionally, and internationally. The ability of your business to successfully communicate with your preferred audience depends on the strength of the stories you tell. Your vision should be communicated in a high-quality, professional, and creative way. From concept to post-production, advertising to film, multi-camera productions, live events, streaming, and virtual conferencing, we are WESN Film Studio. Let your own unique voice be heard and your vision realized. Call us today at 628-5835 for your next production.
WESN.
Good morning and welcome to AM Prime on WESN. I'm Naomi McNish. So this morning I'm joined by Walter Stewart, President of the National Parent-Teachers Association, to discuss the ongoing challenges in Trinidad and Tobago's school transfer system, with many students experiencing long delays that affect their education. So we'll explore what parents can do, how the system can improve, and the role of the NPTA in supporting families through this process. Good morning, Mr. Stewart. Welcome.
And thank you very much, Ms. McNish. Good morning to you and good morning to your viewership. Happy Thursday to all of you.
Yes, thank you. So just to get an idea of the situation and how serious it is, can you give us a brief overview of the school transfer system in Trinidad and Tobago and reasons as to why delays have become such a significant concern for parents as well as students?
I think the major bugbear in the whole process, and let me say upfront that this system is totally archaic. We're in 2025, where digitization is so opportune that we are still using a paper-based system when it comes to our transfers. My understanding is that there are two committees really at the Ministry of Education which handle the transfers. One, of course, is the SCA Transfer Committee, and the other one is the Standing Transfer Committee. So that the SCA Committee will deal primarily with the transfers of Form 1s. And you will understand that when the results are released for the SCA of the current year, in the month of June, say, there will be a flood of request for transfers for one reason or the other. So there's that particular SCA transfer committee. And then there'll be the other transfer committee, the standing transfer committee, which handles the ECCE, early childhood care and education, primary, and of course secondary. In this case, the secondary will be from forms 2 to 6. And as I said before, because it is highly paper-based, there is room for cumbersome, there is room for anomaly, there is room for delays, etc. And this is causing no end to frustration by our parents for obvious reasons.
Has there been any initiation or request to have this, the process upgraded in any sort of way or modernized?
Right, certainly. Well, not any official request per se, but in ongoing conversations with the powers that be at the head office, we would indicate to them that there needs to be some amendment to the present system. And I might say that the ministry is ongoing when it comes to digitization of its system, because you would be aware that the registration for our infant department, in other words, when the child is now 5+ coming into the school for the very first time, that process is now digitized. The same applies to the SCA results as well, fully digitized. So that while the process is ongoing and there are already existing mechanisms and measures in place, where that is concerned, we'd also want a fast track when it comes to the school transfer system as well.
From your perspective, what are some of the effects or the main effects that these delays can have on students specifically?
Well, certainly myriad, because let's say a child wants to be transferred because of proximity. The child lives in area A, and of course the school that the child is being assigned is area B, probably 20-25 miles away. The commute alone could be highly frustrating to the parent and, of course, the child. The child probably has to wake up early hours in the morning in order to be able to get to school on time and, of course, get back late hours in the afternoon based upon the return commute. Let's also say the child is experiencing bullying in a particular school and would want to be transferred because of the bullying situation facing him or her. Again, the child would be apprehensive, traumatized even, to go to that particular school whilst waiting on the particular transfer. So there are myriad situations to deal with. I'm also looking at students who will be transferred because of physical needs, for example. In other words, the present school you are going does not have the requisite aids available to you as a physically challenged student. So you have to wait in this former school for God knows how long in order to wait on the pending transfer. Those could be situations that could frustrate the parent, frustrate the child, and almost put your hands up in the air.
Right. So to get a clearer understanding, when parents are awaiting the transfer to come through, is it that they have to take their child out of the current school, or can they leave their child in school until the transfer is completed?
Well, as you know, legally, from age 5 to 16, the child has to be in a learning institution. So to take your child out of school is risky at best, and of course, breaking the law at worst. So that we would want to encourage the parent, while you are waiting on the transfer, long as it might be, your duty is to ensure that the child is attending a learning institution, so that you would leave the child in the current school until such time as the transfer has become effective.
Could you walk us through how parents can escalate their concerns effectively through this process?
Well, when you do the transfer, you will take it to the current school, the principal of the current school. He will sign off, as it were, on this particular document. Again, as I said before, paper-based. Take it to the district office, because as you are aware, there are 7 district offices here in Trinidad. So you take it to your district office where you have the school supervisors. The school supervisor then escalates this to the Ministry of Education, to this particular transfer committee I mentioned earlier. And then, of course, based upon the findings and the approvals of the transfer committee, it is taken to the CEO, Chief Education Officer, who then signs off on this particular document and returns it to the education district it came from. And then, of course, he will now liaise with the the proposed other education district, if at all another district that it has to go to. But it must come back to the school, the original school. The parent is aware, and of course, it is then taken to the other district, if at all it is to be applied to another education district. So it's a whole cumbersome kind of situation, which of course, as I said before, is 2025, and it can certainly be mitigated if we use the technology available to us.
The process sounds very long, very tiring.
Yes, it is.
In terms of the NPTA, what is your role in if any, in supporting parents or possibly advocating for improvements in the school transfer system?
Well, I think the role that we would want to play is one of oversight, really, so that whilst we are not involved in the transfer committee per se, but because we are seeking the interest and welfare and concerns of our parents and, of course, our children, as is our duty, as is our remit, we want to at least have an oversight in terms of, could the ministry tell us what are the timelines? In other words, you submit your application today, the 13th of November. How long do you have to wait, therefore, to be able to get an acknowledgement even from the ministry? In other words, it is now on the CEO's desk or is on the transfer committee's desk. How long would it then take for the approval and then, of course, the return? So if the PTA, the NPTA, can play that intermediary role between the ministry and, of course, the parent, it is going to put it will pacify, as it were, some of the concerns and the frustrations of the parent. Mm-hmm. So it's really one of oversight that we are looking at, our role as NPTA.
Yes. In terms of this solution, I know you would have mentioned that digitization aspect.
Yeah.
Do you, in your opinion, do you think that is the only thing that can be done to better the system?
Well, another suggestion I would want to proffer is leaving it in the purview of the education district. Now, the former arrangement was it goes from the principal's office to the education district, and the sign-off is being done there. Unless there are certain circumstances or situations that I'm not aware of, I don't see why it needs to be escalated, the transfer that is, to the head office or the Ministry of Education. I will say, put it back in the hands, the care, the approval must come from the education district that you are making the transfer from, so that there'll be that liaising now between education district 1, in other words, the child is in education district Southeastern and wants to be transferred to education district Port of Spain. There should be that liaison. In other words, the person at the Port of Spain education district should know if there is an available space in that particular school, in that particular district, and be able to liaise directly with Southeastern District and say, listen, there is a vacancy in, let's say, Tranquility Secondary, and of course your child can come from the Southeastern District to Tranquility Secondary without any hassle. So that if this could be arranged, it will certainly ease some of the burdens that the parents and of course the students are now facing.
Mm-hmm. Proper communication across districts.
Yeah. And it's devolution of powers as well and authority here. I mean, because everything doesn't have to be Port of Spain based. You have authorities in these education districts who, of course, you should have faith and confidence in to be able to perform at optimum, so that if you are able to have these responsibilities now in the hands of the education districts, it will ease a lot of the burdens and stress, I would think, from the head office level, at the head office level.
So, Mr. Chair, before we have to wrap because we're against time at this point, but just for parents who are going through this process right now, what is a key piece of advice that you'd give to them as they navigate through this transfer
Well, I would
process?
think that if I were the parent, I would now knock on the door of the Ministry of Education, especially, well, as you would have known in the earlier news report earlier this week, this child was waiting 2 years. That's unheard of, really, and hard to accept. So that I will go knocking with the parent on the doors of the CEO to ask him, what is the problem with the particular transfer? Why is this taking inordinately long to be able to approve? So that whilst we do not want to do that for every instant case, but of course, certainly because you want your child to be able to get an education, and rightly so, there needs to be a greater rapidity within which these approvals can be made, and give the parents the assurance that you are working very hard to be able to approve these on a timely basis, and the child can continue his or her education.
2 years is a little overdone, in my opinion. I think after 2 years,
is.
What's the point of transferring again?
Thank you very much. Yeah, it is definitely unacceptable that a system in 2025 could cause you waiting for 2 years without some word, some status on the process where you are at with regards to your transfer. I mean, these things should be taken 2 months at the very worst, not 2 years.
Yes. Yeah. This is why I think these conversations are so necessary, because we don't know what is really happening, what goes on.
Right.
But definitely some sort of reform needs to take place. So,
but I'm sure the public conversation that is now taking place would spew the powers that be into working on revamping the system or looking at other ways and means to be able to fast track the system. But certainly this cannot be allowed to continue ad infinitum. Certainly not.
Yes. If it was to, things were beginning to modernize or digitize within the transfer system, do you think the process would happen smoothly? Do you think it will take a long time for that to happen, in terms of, is the paper base right now a lot of people to transfer digitally?
Well, I don't think so, because the systems at head office can only use the registration of the infant department this year.
Right.
It worked quite smoothly. This is the first year, this academic year is the first year that we use this digitized system for the infant department. And in my humble view, it worked fantastic. So I'm saying that the resources are available at head office, at the ministry's office, to be able to effect digitization of the process. So I'm saying that this should be no harder feat, really, for the ministry to be able to have this system go fully digitized. And of course, make the parents able to track the status as well, to track the process. Where am I in the process? They can also do that under a digitized system arrangement.
Yes, of course. Well, this is something that I'm very much interested in, and I will continue to follow. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get updates on this and things begin to happen within the school system. Thank you, Mrs. Stewart, for joining me on the program this morning.
Have a good day now. Thanks.
Bye-bye. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we have more. Stay with me. We'll be right back.
I am Dr. Delphina Ovid, your friendly neighborhood dentist. At Community Hospital Dental Clinic, we offer examinations which include x-rays, basic oral cancer screening, and a treatment plan. We also offer cleanings, fillings, extractions, root canal treatment, and complete and partial dentures. Remember, you don't have to brush and floss all your teeth, just the ones you want to keep.
Give us a call at 235-5479.
The Community Hospital of Seventh-day Adventist,
where good private health care is affordable.
Are you ready to shape the future of cooperatives in Trinidad and Tobago? Join us at the National Cooperative Conference 2025, hosted by the Cooperative Credit Union Movement Technical Committee in collaboration with Cipriani College from November 12th to 14th. Meet policymakers, youth leaders, and experts as we explore innovation, digital transformation, and inclusive growth. Supported by TechU Credit Union and other leading partners. Conference entry $1,500 per person. Group discounts available. Be part of the movement shaping our nation's future. Register now at cclcs.edu.tt.
Struggling with heart health or frequent migraines? Discover the simple steps to reclaim your energy and vitality.
We're diving into a topic that affects about 422 million people around the world. Diabetes.
Tune into Wellness Unlocked, the series that delivers expert advice, practical tips, and inspiring stories to help you take control of your health and well-being. Your health matters. Don't miss Wellness Unlocked. Watch now on WESN and take the first step toward better health.
FanZone, your reliable, authentic supplier, has just gotten better. You can now visit our website www.fanzonett.com for your authentic wear and collectibles. The only place where you can use both your Visa debit and credit cards. Visit our website fanzonett.com to make your purchase today.
If these walls could talk, they'd cry uncle. They didn't plan to become offices or yoga studios. But they've stood by us, even when we got a little stir-crazy. For that, they deserve some thanks. They deserve Benjamin Moore.
Every time someone steps into your elevator, they trust it will carry them safely. That's why preventative maintenance matters. It protects lives and shields you from liability. It prevents sudden breakdowns that disrupt business and drain budgets. And it keeps you compliant, so you never have to second-guess safety. With Ardent Solutions, you're not just maintaining elevators, you're protecting people, preserving trust, and keeping your building moving forward.
Pastor J, I want to get a tattoo.
You really
respond
want
to me. Respond to me. How you would respond to me?
The first question I'd ask is why?
Controversial taboo topics.
We get so consumed by church, we forget that we have to live the life of being a Christian outside of the Sunday.
Like you say,
services.
we think going to a service makes us a Christian.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. So here we are about to hear the second time Pastor J wanted to take a tattoo.
Would have been late last year and early this year.
Oh gosh.
Hope Unfiltered podcast with Pastor J and Ren.
This is 10 Questions. I'm Andy Johnson. The distance from where we should be in the world in going forward and our commitments with climate change.
The effects of climate change cannot be accounted for. It's called loss and damage. And we're seeing loss and damage happening so much more in this decade and the previous decade.
The principal term there was this question of the correspondent banking issues.
That is why we're trying to build capacity with this country here, Trinidad and Tobago, and other countries in the region.
Man is not showing any signs of stopping or even slowing down. More than half of the forest in Trinidad is already gone.
All the plants and all the animals and all of the nice clean water and fresh air and everything had to be on this planet for humanity to have a chance.
We have small change when it comes to countries that can take decisions, and when they speak, the world listens.
The General Assembly is a very democratic forum. And Trinidad and Tobago has the same vote as Canada, in spite of the obvious difference in size.
Welcome back to AM Prime this morning. So, as the holiday season approaches, online shopping is on the rise, but so is digital fraud. From fake emails to suspicious websites, more people than ever are at risk of falling victim to cyber scams. So today, I'll be joined by cybersecurity expert Mr. Ruben Hernandez of Risco and the CEO of Risco, Mr. Antonio Ayala, to discuss how shoppers can stay safe online, avoid scams, and protect their personal information. Good morning, gentlemen. Welcome.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Spain.
Thank you for joining me. So, just to get an idea of how serious these online shopping scams and frauds are, especially during the holiday season, tell us, how serious is it?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for this interview. I think that's extremely important just to make some kind of comments in connection how to make safe online shopping this Christmas holidays. Let me tell you something. The situation is quite serious. That doesn't mean that you cannot make shopping online. But you have to keep in mind that in the same way that people like you, Ruben, or myself, or maybe all the audience right now in the island, want to make some kind of shopping for Christmas, for friends, relatives, couple, whatever, cyber criminals also are considering make some kind of fraud. And one important thing that you have to keep in mind is that the global e-commerce figures in terms of money is around 6 trillion million by 2025. That's a lot of money in terms of online transactions. But in the same way, just in the US, the fraud, the online fraud, this year, 2025, is going to reach around 12.5 billion in US. And believe me, Mason kind of online fraud is a very good business for the cyber criminal or hackers. Keep in mind the following. Every second, let me say it again, every second, 18 people, 1-8 people become a victim an online fraud. And here is where the mobile phones take place a very important role, because globally, plus 70% of online transactions are coming from mobile phone. And you know, in most cases, users are not quite secure when they are making security patches or they in their phone when you compare with the computer. And this is important to mention because, as maybe you are aware of, the penetration of a smartphone in the island in Trinidad is very high. It's plus 90%. And when you compare with other countries in the CARICOM, Trinidad and Tobago have a very high penetration using a smartphone. And in addition to that, the penetration using internet in the island is very high, plus 80%. So when you combine all these kind of things, most of the Trinidad people have to take care when they are making some kind of online shopping. So in a few words, the situation is serious, but again, that doesn't mean that you cannot make online shopping in a safe way these holidays.
Right. So, Mr. Hernandez, are there particular trends that you've noticed in the types of scams targeting shoppers in recent years?
Yeah, and this is increasing a lot because, for example, now cyber criminals, they are using artificial intelligence. All of us are hearing artificial intelligence in almost everywhere. And they are using that type of system, those type of software, they are using for create scams. They are using for create fraud. For example, they can use what is called deep fake videos, that are videos or fake videos using the face or the voice of a celebrity or a family member. So they use that type of tools to prepare those type of frauds. So you can imagine, for example, that, just a quiet example, just imagine you receive like a promotion video where it appears Rihanna and promoting some luxury handbag at 90% of discount, or that is the best thing on the market. Well, that probably is generated with AI, with artificial intelligence, and is a fake. So they are using that type of tools, or with social media, for example, in TikTok Shop or Facebook Marketplace. They can use different tools to try to be a little bit more closer to every one of us and try to perform this type of scams.
What are the most common signs that shoppers should watch out for if they want, to avoid getting scammed?
That is a very good question. One of the, I would say, good signs that could be a fast alert for any shopper is when you receive an email or a chat in WhatsApp or any other social media communication platform saying some kind of urgency in connection to click this link. Most of the fraud coming from phishing attacks. When any shopper receives an email or chat saying that please confirm your address to send your package, and you never have made any kind of transaction with Amazon or Walmart or any other online shopping, that is an alert. When you receive an email saying that please confirm your credit card detail just to ensure that the goods that you are buying are in the right way to your destination. When you receive any kind of urgency, email, chat, that is an alert. Also, when you receive an email, never your bank institution is going to ask you any confidential detail about your account detail. So when you receive any kind of email, chat, or as Ruben mentioned, any kind of voice or even video, artificial intelligence generating, making some kind of urgency that you have to do this right now, that is a very, very strong sign that that could be an scam.
When it comes to using public Wi-Fi or unsecured networks, how serious is that risk for online shopping?
Yeah, that's another things that add a little bit more of risk. Just buying something over internet, it has some risk, as Mr. Ayala just explaining. But if we add that I joined to an external network, Wi-Fi network, from a park, from a mall, from every place, that means that probably I am connecting to a network that I don't know who is administering, who is accessing my data. Probably someone can be in the middle, seeing my information and what I am seeing what I want and seeing what I am looking for. So probably it's capturing my credential, it's capturing my credit card information, all my details. So it's very critical. We need to understand that when we connect to external network, some network that is outside our control, we are at the risk that someone is stealing our data. So we need to care of that.
Right. Just to add what Ruben said, make some kind of online shopping on public Wi-Fi connection, like Ruben mentioned, coffee shop, malls, airports, park. If you can avoid it, don't make any kind of shopping on those unsecured Wi-Fi connection. It's better that you use your internet connection in your home, and of course, if you have some kind of urgency and you need to make right away from your phone, use the internet connection from your mobile phone or local mobile carrier, and not use any kind of free Wi-Fi connection, because most of the scam also coming from public free Wi-Fi connection.
That in that, what about, or can you explain how using secure payments? So even, let's say if you are on an unsecured network or public Wi-Fi, can using secure payments help to avoid the risk of getting scammed for online shoppers? For example, prepaid cards or using Apple Pay. Do these things actually work?
If you are going to use public network to make some kind of shopping or any kind of online banking transaction, there are a security feature which is called VPN came from virtual private network. That is another layer of security in addition to your user, your password, and the 2-second factor authentication that I would prefer that maybe Ruben explained in a little more that. But if you use a virtual private network, that's add some kind of security layer in addition of user and your password. In a few words, most of the bank institutions today and most of the serious online shopping sites like Amazon, Walmart, and many others, they invest thousands of millions of dollars in protecting the online site to ensure that the potential customer have a safe online shopping experience. So, in a few words, you can perform some kind of payments or transaction using public networks if you use a virtual private network. If you don't have a virtual private network, our recommendation from a technical point of view is don't do it.
And I can add something else. As you mentioned, you can use also a VPN and also some other ways to perform that type of transaction. For example, using Apple Pay or Google solution, or you can use like a prepaid credit card. That's are the best scenarios because you reduce the risk if you, for example, are using a limited credit card just to buy things on online, or a prepaid credit card. Also, all of us need to check very well the URL of the page that when we want to buy something. If it's Amazon, is right, it's spell it right. For example, most of the hackers try to change the O from Amazon, for example, just an example, change the O to a 0. So if we don't look up for the URL in the address bar of our browser, probably we can be affected of that type of scam. So we need to look up very well the name of the website that when we want to do that transactions. And also secure our network, secure our devices. Try to update all our applications, our cell phones if we are doing, for example, try to update our antivirus and our PC softwares. That also help too during this process of transaction.
Right. When you say update your devices and your applications, why is that so important? What does that do in helping or to avoid getting scammed?
Yeah, that's because.
No, go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
Okay. Most of the applications they have bugs. They have different ways in which hackers or anyone can steal your information, can access your privileged data in any device, even though it's a laptop or a cell phone. So providers they apply new updates, not just to improve features, also to reduce some risks that they identify. So it's very important that we update all our devices, PCs, cell phone, tablets, everything. We need to update this operating system and also the applications, just to reduce the bugs or some ways in which hackers can get in. Right. I don't know if you want to add something, Mr. Ayala.
No, I find I think that is quite important for the audience of this program. Share some kind of good tips or security advice to protect their transaction in an online environment. Ruben has mentioned one right now, which is please check the URL from the online shopping site, as Ruben mentioned. Check it out when the spelling of the name has changed. That is a very good advice or recommendation for your audience. Second, could be for online shopping, always use credit card and not debit cards. Why? Because most of the credit card globally and including in the island include some kind of insurance policies in case of kind of fraud transaction. And secondly, credit card always are not associated directly to your bank account, saving or check account. That's not the case with debit card. So for any kind of transaction online, a pretty good advice is use credit card. In addition to that, if you are a person that really like make online shopping every single week, you can have a very specific credit card with a low limit. I would say 500 US or maybe 1,000 US dollar to ensure that any potential fraud is not going to be higher than the limit of credit that you already have. Another potential advice for the audience in connection to protect your online shopping could be enable something that in security is called two-factor authentication. That is another layer of security in addition to your user and password. Do you want to add anything else in connection with that, Ruben?
Also use unique password. Passwords are essential here. Password for your email account, password for your accounts of the shopping place that you are using. You need to create strong password. Different change between letters, numbers, trying to switch between that. And also be aware of social media scam. Social media, there's a lot of promotions, a lot of noise. So we need to check if the seller has some reviews, it has 5 stars, or it has good positive reviews. We need to check also that when we try to buy something.
Mr. Ayala, you would have mentioned a little while ago, you mentioned using a conduit. I think that was one of the suggestions that you gave when speaking about unsecured networks. Can you just explain that, what you mean by the conduits?
Sorry, could you please repeat again that question just to make sure that I will respond for it?
Yes. So you would have mentioned using a type of conduit when you were speaking about...
When you mean conduit is the virtual private network security layer that I mentioned?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is another... Most of the
That's
mobile
when you were
phone...
speaking about the VPN? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the VPN. That's another layer of security that, if you ask me, for any online transaction, doesn't matter if you are using your mobile phone, or you are using any kind of shopping from your computer, it's a very strong, a very good practice, use a virtual private network. That's me. A virtual private network is a piece of software that you install in your mobile phone or you install in your computer. In a few not technical words, that is like a tunnel, and all the information in that tunnel is encrypted. So a potential hacker will not be able to catch or understand what kind of information is being transmitted through that tunnel. That's because there are many virtual private network, very good ones, for your computer or your mobile phone that today are free. There are another one that you have a very small money by year. So if you are ones that usually are making shopping or using your phone for some kind of a confidential transaction, it's better that you use a virtual private network security layer. And that's a very good advice to all your audience today.
Are there platforms that you can recommend for reporting scams or checking the legitimacy of online stores?
I would not prefer mention one specific brand for some kind of I would say confidential issue, but what we can do is offline by email. I can provide to you some kind of email that you can share for the audience. But again, there are many. Not quite sure if Ruben can remember one name that we can recommend for the audience, but there are many of those solutions out there, and I would say most of they are pretty good. Do you remember one name, Ruben, of those?
No, I think that instead of using like a tool that help me identify if something is a scam or not, I think that the most important thing here is that every one of us be aware that we need to do different things, like things that we mentioned. Check the URL, check the domain in where we are doing the transaction in case it's a web page. For example, again, eBay. Let's use an example. eBay, their network, the URL is ebay.com. We need to check if we are not accessing ebay.top, T-O-P, instead of .com. So we need to check that the URL is the right place. I try to identify if it's an email. Someone sent me an email, for example, is a friend or is someone that I even don't know. If we receive an email where it says that I have a big deal, there's a good opportunity, we need to take it urgently. We just have 5 minutes to get that opportunity, that discount. That probably is a red flag, even though it's a friend, because it shows me its type of urgency. So we need to check that URL or the link. Try to never give a click to the direct link that someone sent you. But the first thing we need to do is check that URL. That's the most critical information to see if we are in the right place or we are in a scam place. So we need to take that into consideration.
Just to add to what Ruben is saying, there is a very famous Russian proverb, which I apologize for not necessarily my pretty good Russian pronunciation, but that proverb in Russian sounds "Доверяй, но проверяй." That's just Russian, but in English that means trust but verify. And I would say that for online shopping, and just in connection with what Ruben said, you can trust, but please always verify. Review the URL, review the site. If this is too good to be true, think twice. Verify any kind of suspicious transaction email. Don't, when you are making shopping in a physical online mall, it's most easy to identify when a potential people with bad intention want to make some kind of potential hazard to you. Because in the physical world, people is more suspicious to identify threats. But in the online transaction world is totally different. People, everything thinks that all is safe, and that is not true. So that is what important, and I think that that's part of the mention of all of our statement today, is that there are threats out there in connection with fraud. That is true, but that does not mean that you cannot do your online shopping by Christmas. Just verify and review before do anything.
So just to quickly recap the tips that you all would have suggested before we close this morning. Check your URL. That's the domain in which you'll be shopping on. the other one, verify, make sure you're using a secure network.
Yeah, let me review 5 advice for all your audience. The first one is what you said. Check the URL from your website. That is quite important, as Ruben mentioned. Second, use credit card and not debit card for any online shopping. If you can use a credit card with a very low limit of credit, 500 US, or maybe
Those are the prepaid credit cards.
Yeah, or you can use, yes, exactly. Number 3, enable 2-factor authentication. That is another layer of security in addition to your user and password. The number 4, as Ruben mentioned, create a strong, unique password for your email account, for your banking account, or even for the shopping email account. And also, in addition to that, keep update your mobile and your computer using, keeping always the operating system updated. If you want, you can install antivirus software. In the same way that you can install antivirus software in your computer, you can install antivirus software in your mobile. So if you keep those 5 recommendations, always keep in mind, that is pretty good. And the final thing could be verify and do not trust everything that you see in the online market. Do you want to add anything else, Ruben?
I want to add something that we don't talk during this time. Is that very short? Is what happens if I get scammed? If something bad happened, that's very important. Something bad happened. The first thing you need to do is contact your bank company. Try to contact your bank. That's the first thing you need to do, and explain and give some feedback about what happened. Report your fraudulent charge, or request your card cancellation, or you can ask for a new card. Also, you need to change your password. Try to change password in the shopping platform. Try to change your password in your email accounts if you share with someone. Try to change it. Try to take a screenshot of almost everything. Try to print all your emails. Try to store all your screenshot of your website. Try your print order confirmation. Try your bank statement shopping with the charge. Try to do it. Report if you can report to the authorities also, and also warn other people. Explain that. Try to alert other members of your family that what is happening, so they can also be aware of it.
Do you know in Trinidad and Tobago, the police have a cybercrime unit? I think it is called cybercrime unit and social network unit, or something like that. As Ruben mentioned, it's just software, a fraud. In addition to contact your bank and change your password, you can contact that unit. Back to you, and thank you for the opportunity today.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me on the program this morning and sharing those tips and the advice, the knowledge as we head into this Christmas season, because this is, I think now is a time especially when everybody, most households will be doing a lot of online shopping. So this was much needed. Thanks again. Do enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you to you. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So we are going to take another quick break. Stay with me. We'll be right back.
FanZone, your reliable, authentic supplier, has just gotten better. You can now visit our website www.fanzonett.com for your authentic wear and collectibles. The only place where you can use both your Visa debit and credit cards. Visit our website fanzonett.com to make your purchase today.
Low energy? Heart concerns? Migraines slowing you down? It's time to take control of your health. Join Wellness Unlocked, the series that brings expert advice and real solutions for a healthier you. In our latest episode, learn how Jameson CoQ10 can help support heart health, boost energy, and even reduce migraines. Get the science, the stories, and the steps to power up your health with CoQ10. Don't miss Wellness Unlocked. Watch now on WESN and start your wellness journey today.
I am Dr. Delphina Ovid, your friendly neighborhood dentist. At Community Hospital Dental Clinic, we offer examinations which include x-rays, basic oral cancer screening, and a treatment plan. We also offer cleanings, fillings, extractions, root canal treatment, and complete and partial dentures. Remember, you don't have to brush and floss all your teeth, just the ones you want to keep.
Give us a call at 235-5479.
The Community Hospital of Seventh-day Adventist,
where good private health care is affordable.
Welcome back to the program this morning. So joining me now is a rising artist in the local music scene, Lyndon Allen, also known as Zion Child. He's a barber by profession, but music has always been his true calling. From humbling beginnings in Tobago to performing and writing songs that celebrate our culture, Zion Child is proving that talent and passion can take you far. So today, I welcome Mr. Lyndon Allen to the program. Good morning.
Hi, Grand Rising, great being here.
So just to get to know you, Lyndon or Zion Child, tell us a bit about where that name came from and what it represents for you.
Well, Zion Child came about just as me changing my name from Extraordinaire. My name was Extraordinaire before, and it was kind of difficult for people to remember and to call the name. And I had used the name Zion Child when I was younger, and I decided to change it back to Zion Child. It's just a name that I've used before as a Christian person, growing up as a Christian person. So I just switched back from Extraordinaire to Zion Child.
So you started your musical journey at 15. Can you take us back to that time? What inspired you to start singing and writing music?
Well, basically my cousin Ivor, he used to play the keyboards, and he used to always encourage us because we had a lot of singers in the family. Kay Allen, who just passed away, is my cousin, passed away just recently. And we have a lot of singers in the family, so my cousin used to encourage me in church and stuff. And then I used to go to Best Village as well. And when I reached 15 is when we decided to take it seriously. And me and my brother started practicing to write songs until this time period, still in the music.
So let's talk about your song Trinbago. I actually listened to it this morning and I found it was very catchy. And we'll play it at the end before we close for the viewers. But what was the inspiration behind it, and what message are you hoping people take away from the song?
I hope it'll encourage the youth and encourage people to know that Trinidad is a beautiful place, despite all the crime and all the situations that we're going through. I hope it will encourage people to be more kind and to remember and understand that there's a God above who's watching down at the situation in our country, and we could change for it to be a better place. We just need to unite a little more and show that love and that respect that we used to have for each other.
In terms of the various genres that you would have experimented on, I know soca, dancehall, do you have a favorite that you prefer to sing, or do you see yourself as a artist of all?
I just see myself as versatile, but I do love soca. Soca is where I started with. My first song that I wrote was called I Love Soca. So soca is definitely my baby.
Right. That I love soca. So in terms of, do you write all your songs?
Yeah, I write all my songs. I've never had somebody written for me before.
Right. Where does that creative side come from in terms of your songwriting? Because I think songwriting can be...
It comes differently. Sometimes it could be the environment that I'm in, and then sometimes I could dream. Like I had a song that I dreamt about, and it just wake me up, and I just get up and start writing, or I get up and start recording. So I'll have knowledge of it for the future.
Right. Let's go back to you, Lyndon Allen. You're also a barber, right? How does that work? It's an interesting mix. How do you balance both worlds?
Well, barbering is basically in the daytime, and the music is more evening time, nighttime. So that's how it's balanced.
Right. When we're talking about Zion Child now, what sets Zion Child apart from other artists or other upcoming artists on the scene that are singing soca, that is in the same genre as you are?
I think that's my versatility, my writing ability. You know, it sets me apart from the others. I write poetry as well. I'm trying to do a book on poetry.
Book? Okay.
Yeah, so that sets me apart from the others.
What are some of the things, or maybe one thing that keeps you motivated on this journey as an up and coming?
Just waking up every day is motivation enough to go on, yes. Thanking God for life every day, and waking up every day is enough fuel for me to push forward.
Do you have any, apart from this song that you just released called Trinbago, do you sing soca parang? I know the Christmas season is coming up. Do you have other songs in the works that we can expect?
Yeah, I have other songs coming up. I don't sing parang. Parang is a unique genre. I've never heard it. I don't know why that. I just don't catch it at all. I don't catch parang at all. I've never heard no parang.
Yeah.
But I do other genres.
Right. So we can expect more songs coming up for the carnival season then.
Yeah, in the future after carnival, I write after carnival as well, and because I do a little dancehall, I do a little hip hop.
Right.
I've done reggae before, you know. So that's definitely more music to come.
Okay. What's one fact about you that you can share with us today that we don't know?
I also love cooking. I also love cooking. I've worked in a restaurant before doing cooking and that kind of stuff. So I also like cooking.
Okay. So you're a barber now, but you were a chef previously.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Very cool. All right. So I think we can give the viewers a little taste of your song. And then we can come back.
Yeah. Come baila with me, come baila with me, yo. Come baila with me, yeah. Trinbago, Trinbago, this land of ecstasy. Trinbago, Trinbago, no other place am I free. Trinbago, Trinbago, neighbor Stringberry. Yeah. Why don't you take a trip to my island? Come on holiday in this place, the most southerly destination. In the chains of Caribbean islands, we'll fulfill all your expectation. We'll fulfill your every need in this extremely exotic nation, this extremely exotic place. Where for 2 days we just put on costume with modern we face and parade the place. Trinbago, Trinbago, this land of ecstasy. Trinbago, Trinbago, no other place am I free. Trinbago, Trinbago, this land of ecstasy. Trinbago, Trinbago, this here my neighbor Stringberry. Yeah, such creativity and excitement.
Now, that song is extremely patriotic, and I, like I said, when I listened to it this morning, I found it to be very catchy, and it's fun. It's fun. It makes you want to dance, want to move. So, just the idea behind the song itself. Why did you choose to sing a song of that passion, so much passion for your country?
It's just the love for my country. I know I grew up. I know how things are now is not the way it used to be. Mm-hmm. And I can remember any days when we was all filled with love. You could go by the neighbor for some salt or some peas or some sugar. Mm-hmm. You know, your mother used to leave you by the neighbor when she go into work, and everything used to be fine.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. That those are times that we really, I don't think we can get that back. Those are times, simpler times that was, when you think about it, it's very nostalgic. So I think hearing this song as well kind of gives people a feeling, a warm feeling of what Trinidad and Tobago used to be, and hopefully what we could be again.
Where we could be again.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much, Zion Child, Mr. Lyndon Allen, for joining me on the program this morning. And just talking about you, talking about the songs, and we will look out for more songs as the carnival season approaches very, very soon.
No problem. I just want to big up Children Lane as well for the management team hooking me up with you guys. Mm-hmm. So big up to Children Lane as well.
No problem. All right. So do enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Thank you.
All right. Same to you. Take care.
All right. So don't worry. We will play the rest of the song as we end. But that brings us to the end of AM Prime this morning. So I will leave you with this. Always do your best. What you plant now will harvest later. So always do your best. What you plant now will harvest later. So do stay safe, stay inspired, stay informed, and don't go too far with Shawn Michaels from the hour of 8 o'clock with Talking Points. So stay close for that, and I will see you back here again tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.
Yeah, come baila with me, yo. Come baila with me, yeah. Trinbago, Trinbago, this land of ecstasy. Trinbago, Trinbago, no other place am I free. Trinbago, Trinbago, this land of ecstasy. Trinbago, Trinbago, is here my neighbor Stringberry. Yeah, why don't you take a trip to my island? Come on holiday in this place, the most southerly destination. In the chains of Caribbean islands, we'll fulfill all your expectation. We'll fulfill your every need in this extremely exotic nation, this extremely exotic place. Where for 2 days we just put on costume with modern we face and parade the place. Trinbago, Trinbago, this land of ecstasy. Trinbago, Trinbago, no other place am I free. Trinbago, Trinbago, this land of ecstasy. Trinbago, Trinbago, this here my neighbor Stringberry. Yeah, such creativity and excitement. We turn a lime right into a fete. We go into the beach out in rain, forest and hike. We partying all night.
WESN Are you ready to shape the future of cooperatives in Trinidad and Tobago? Join us at the National Cooperative Conference 2025, hosted by the Cooperative Credit Union Movement Technical Committee in collaboration with Cipriani College from November 12th to 14th. Meet policymakers, youth leaders, and experts as we explore innovation, digital transformation, and inclusive growth. Supported by TechU Credit Union and other leading partners. Conference entry $1,500 per person. Group discounts available. Be part of the movement shaping our nation's future. Register now at cclcs.edu.tt.
Every time someone steps into your elevator, they trust it will carry them safely. That's why preventative maintenance matters.